They wore T-shirts, in case you didn't see them, at the All-Star Weekend that say, "Pay us what you owe us," which is a very interesting tactic that they're taking in their current negotiations with the WNBA, CBA negotiations, in that they all wore the same shirts, Fitzy, so it's not like Caitlin Clark wore a different shirt than others.
No, they presented what we like to call a unified front.
They did. Unified in its idiocy, in my opinion, because as much as I can read. Now, if they want to come on, if anybody wants to call in, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum, anybody, Angel Reese, you want to defend your league. I like the WNBA. I like women's sports. We've talked about it. I watch a lot of college softball World Series. There are a lot of women's sports that are very entertaining. I like them. But the reality is, I did research, Fitzy, and I could not find anywhere that disputed the fact that the WNBA has never turned a profit and in the last calendar year has lost somewhere in the range of $40 to $50 million as a league.
Yeah, you're a big fan of women's volleyball too, right?
I do like women's volleyball. Have you ever watched some of those women's volleyball game at Nebraska? They played in the football. I think that was a snarky line that he didn't expect, that I watch women's volleyball. My daughter plays volleyball. Nebraska played a game at where the Cornhuskers play. The women's volleyball team played a game in front of like 80,000 people on a football field.
Whatever they call Cornhusker Stadium?
Yes. It's amazing. You watch that sport. Jeez. It is tremendous. But the WNBA,
I like beach volleyball myself.
It's great. I know why you like it when they give the little hand signals. No, you like the hand signals, though, that the women give and where they give them and the close-up that comes on TV from them.
I don't get it.
No, you don't need to,
I'm
Dan.
very worried about you with what you're saying.
The WNBA, based on everything I can find, has never turned a profit.
No, actually, last year the operating losses were $40 million.
Okay, so pay us what they owe us. So if it was a profit share league, wouldn't they have to pay the owners some money to cover the losses for the year?
Hi, girls. Let's see. It's going to cost every team about $3.5 million this year. So if you could pay us what you owe us, that would be great.
Maybe pass the hat
rev
around?
share revenue's going up. And make no mistake, who's driving it?
Caitlin Clark.
Pretty damn sure it's Caitlin Clark.
So, and I get, she's talked about this. There's a lot of audio out there, and a lot of these women have good ad
pay
deals.
Me what you owe me is what the shirt should say.
That's what I said. She should have her own shirt, or a few of them should have her own shirt. Angel Reese is very popular. She has a lot of ad deals. She's making good money.
Is going to be a force to be reckoned with
Correct.
for years to come. Exactly. There's a handful of women that are difference makers and needle movers in the WNBA, and the rest hate Caitlin Clark.
And it's why we've questioned why Caitlin Clark is kind of being brushed off or held back by some of her coworkers and contemporaries, because the rising tide, if the tide gets high enough, you might actually spin a profit in the WNBA. There's even been reports that NBA owners who have helped subsidize the WNBA are getting annoyed by the lack of profits and the losses, to the point where Adam Silver kind of had to push back on that. And usually when people push back on something, it means it's the truth and they're trying to do damage control. So I am an advocate for the WNBA. I want them to succeed. I like their style of play. We talked about it the other day. Like, if you're into the cutting, the back cutting, the old Princeton back, like some of the things they do, shooting, passing.
Anti-Missoula ball.
Yes, there is definitely some of that. And you like that, you can go to the Garden and watch the Fever come to town for $19,000. But the reality of the benefits, the books of the league, are that they're not making any money. So to come out and start this campaign, pay us what you owe us, like, what do they owe you? A share of the losses? Do you want a share of the losses? Because the owners are eating it because they think eventually it is going to turn a profit, I would assume, and they can make money long-term off of it.
Yeah, and did you hear also that the Connecticut Sun could be up for sale? There could be a potential
moving on up
move
to
over
Boston?
Providence.
Oh, Providence Sun? They probably changed the name. Steamrollers. That was their indoor football team like 100 years ago. Providence Steamrollers would be a sick WNBA team.
I don't know if they'd go with steamrollers.
I'd go with that.
They certainly won't go with clam rolls.
Easy. I don't think we can do that. This is not what... No, we're not doing. Seth MacFarlane is not writing this.
Let's move on.
Let's just move on.
It's a popular dish in Rhode Island.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that.
All right. Yes, it's low-hanging fruit. I understand that. But
I would go to those
the
games.
regional name would be, I think it'd be kind of awesome if they did
the dunk
and Pags. That's where they
amp
play.
now. It's the amp now.
It's the amp?
The Amica Mutual Pavilion, home of the Steamrollers.
But imagine that if Pags was like, hey, I didn't get a chance to buy into the Celtics as much as many Celtics fans wish I would have. But if he could buy a team and bring them to Providence, I think there would be a more, even though the Sun does attract a lot of people to the Mohegan Sun Arena, especially when Caitlin Clark plays there. I bet you if they moved to Providence, if they were purchased and moved to Providence, that team would do extremely well.
I think it would too.
You got to get these places in. They have to maybe do a little realignment and reconfiguration and get people where the action is and they want to actually see the WNBA games. I don't understand what it's going to finally take. Like, obviously, merchandise must be moving more. Eventually, the TV rights with all these Caitlin Clark games doing well, Andy, should generate some revenue.
Yes.
It's probably going to take another couple of years. So, again, like a simple Googling of how much money does the WNBA lose will lead you to a series of articles with like titles like fans slam WNBA stars for protesting their pay after league posted $40 million in losses. Like, other people that are just being rationally minded, this is the math not mathing department checking in, are just saying like, what are you guys looking for? Like, sorry, there's no extra. Do you think owners are like sitting on piles of cash and burlap sacks of money?
Well, they are, but it's coming from the NBA, not the WNBA.
Who's subsidizing it, correct.
And it is subsidizing it, and they've been around for a long, long time.
Now. 28 years.
And you know I'm a girl dad, and I support this, and I want it to work. I'm also a believer, though, if you're good, you don't have to ask for equality. Like, I've had this same argument with the women's national soccer team, and they want to be paid the same as the men. And I said, well, as long as the Women's World Cup makes the same money as the Men's World Cup, you can be paid just as much. Or we had this same debate a few years ago, Fitzy, when there was the photo of the women's Final Four, like, weight room, and it was like a little dumbbell tree and maybe one bench, and they're like, oh, we're getting mistreated. And it's like, well, who's supposed to pay for the men's Final Four? The men's national tournament makes billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Your tournament doesn't make that yet. So who is going to pay for that? Are the men supposed to subsidize it? How does this all work? You're not bringing in equal dollars to deserve equal pay. That's
Let
just
me also
the reality.
Remind you, Andy, around the time that you and I matriculated our way into the ranks of WEEI Broadcastum, I remember, I think you, Glenn Ordway, and I did an afternoon show in the summer of 2019, and one of the topics at the time was the women's World Cup players and women's soccer players complaining about not getting their fair share of revenue, that they should be paid the exact same as the men. Like,
dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Have you seen how much money the Mbappes and the Ronaldos generate around the world versus, like, great, Megan Rapinoe, Hope Solo, or whoever it was that became a big deal in the 2010s when women's soccer in the United States proliferated with their greatness. Julie Christie, Carly, whatever her name was. Like, that's awesome. That's great. You don't make as much. How can you say that you should be getting the same amount of money? That's bananas.
You know who doesn't ask for equal pay? Taylor Swift, Beyonce, right? They never ask for equal pay. Why? Because they're the most popular people in their industry. They're the most successful. Kim Kardashian is never like, what do the male influencers get? No, when you actually at the top of your game, you get paid at the top of your game. Should male artists be like, how come I don't get paid what Taylor Swift makes? I do concerts in stadiums. Because you're not Taylor Swift. No one cares about you as much as Taylor Swift. So equality in this country in terms of pay is generally earned, right? Like, we have issues if it is repressed or suppressed, pushed down. Mm-hmm. But in an open market where anybody can go to a WNBA game, anybody can tune on a WNBA game, they can have ratings, they can have attendance. They have a fair share. They just haven't earned it yet. Yes, Stiz.
Yeah, but you're saying they haven't earned it yet. But what can they do to affect viewership?
I'll tell you exactly what they can do. You know what they can do, Stiz? They can stop harassing, bullying, and not giving, at least admitting that their meal ticket arrived from the University of Iowa a year and a half ago.
Well, I would say the reason that they're in the news so much is because that type of stuff is going on.
Stiz could be. Maybe that's creative writing.
You think it's a long play?
I don't think it's a long play, but I do think the reason why there are so many WNBA headlines is from Caitlin Clark and, her being fouled hard, or
he's right,
someone said something, or whatever the case may be.
He's right. Whether it's accidental or crazy like a fox, long con, game, WWE storytelling, That has gotten them a lot of attention over the last year plus that maybe they would not have gotten. But Stiz, do you believe that they should be paid equally?
No, I don't believe that, but I do think it's a little unfair when you're like, well, be better, WNBA players. It's like the WNBA audience is going to be with the and for whatever reason, this lightning in a bottle player has coming along, and that's great.
Right. It.
But I don't know how often that's going to happen.
Well, so then they're not as popular
as long as the league is on.
And I actually think it'll continue to happen because I think this stuff trickles down in any sport at any level. When there is a star playing, more people want to do that sport.
When do you think there's going to be another WNBA player as big and as covered as Caitlin Clark?
3, 4, 5 years? Yet. I don't know. I
the
pool is going to grow. The pool is going to grow. What's her name out in at USC?
Oh yeah, what's her name? Very popular.
I wanted to say Juju Smith-Schuster, but that's not it. It's Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins out there. Like, Stiz, there are going to be more of these. The game is growing in popularity. The game is better. I can tell you I've watched high school girls basketball at different times. The game is better. There are athletes playing high school basketball, even at a local level, like Massachusetts high school basketball.
Are they better than what's-her-name, though?
That are not better than what's-her-name, but are better than their predecessors, what's-her-name, before them. And it will continue to grow. It'll grow organically and naturally. But should the owners, instead of losing $40 million, should they lose $100 million so that they can pay the players more?
No,
is that how that should work?
obviously that doesn't make
No, if anything,
sense.
Andy, you know how they should lose $100 million? By promoting the product even more and trying to attract a wider audience. Like, hey, if you like a good quality of basketball, hey, if you'd like to, your daughters, sons, whomever, to watch these gals play the stars of tomorrow, hop on now while the bandwagon is loading up. But again, anything and everything Caitlin Clark, she should be a transcendent historical figure for this league if it is to survive, let alone ever thrive.